Hello and welcome back, guys. So today in my video I'm going to discuss about past year papers in chapter 1 function. So all this compile of so many states, and I think this is 2023 trial papers. Okay, so let's go with the first question. So diagram 2 shows a graph function mx equals, this is the modulus question. So they gave us a modulus mx and they gave us an equation 5x minus 4, and you can see this is the equation that represents actually, if let's just say I don't have the modulus, this thing going to go straight just like this. But because there is existence of the modulus, due to the existence of the modulus, the graph reflect to above. Because remember I told you the function of a modulus is to make number positive. That's the reason why from the negative side it reflect up to the positive side. So that's why you will get a V shape or a thick right shape. The question asks us to find the value of P and Q. So it's a coordinate, isn't it? The P and Q is actually in the coordinate. So they give us the coordinate P, 19, and this is also a coordinate. The coordinate is actually Q, 0, isn't it? And you know, a coordinate, the first one is always the X, the second one is the fx, but in this case not fx but mx. It's like following the normal coordinate, which is xy. Exactly the same thing, just the y change according to the y axis. This time your y axis is not fx, it's not y, but mx, so mx lah. So they ask us to find the value of p here. Find the value of P and Q. So to find that, you know what is the P. P is actually your X, isn't it? And your MX is 19. So when your X is equals to P, the MX is actually equal to 19. So now your x, if you substitute with the p, that is actually equals to 19, because your x is now p, so substitute your x with the p. And what is the equation that they give us? There, it's right here. So now your x is p, right? Substitute everything with p. So your mx is 5x minus 4 with the modulus. Now it is mp. Your x is p, isn't it? Because of your x is p, everything I use straight pen, everything have to change with the p. The x everything change with p. And you know, when your x is equals to p, your mx is equals to 19, which is your mp. So you can actually say this is also equals to 19. So this will be my equation. 5 times p, 5p minus 4 with the modulus is equals to 19. Here you will be able to get 1 mark because you're able to generate an equation. And now you have a modulus, so what you have to do? You have to remove the modulus. So when the modulus bring to the other side, you will have plus minus. So 5p minus 4 equals to plus minus 19. And when you have a plus minus, the best way to solve is split it into 2 parts. Sorry, I don't have enough space. So 5p minus 4 equals to the plus 19, which is the positive 19, and another one more, 5p minus 4, which is the minus side, so negative 19, and solve for your p. So you press your calculator, take 19, the minus 4 shift this side, become plus 4, and 5 divided by, if you divide it will become 23 over 5, which is 4.6, or you can just write 23 over 5. And for this side, your negative 19, you plus with 4 and divide with 5, you get negative 3. So which answer you should take? There is two values, one at 23 over 5, another one more, negative 3. So you have to look where is the p is. So now you see this p is actually over here, isn't it? It is on positive side or negative side. In a normal graph, if here is origin, anything that is right to the origin is all positive, 1, 2, 3, and anything that is left to the origin is negative numbers, right? So your p should be negative because it is left, which is on the negative side. So therefore you can just ignore this, write the word ignore or reject, and you just need to say p equals to negative 3. But that is not the final answer, guys. You need to find the q also, isn't it? So let's work for q. We have already find the p, settle that. Now q is also, there's a coordinate. So now your x is q, your x value is q, and your y, this is your y, which is your mx. Your mx is 0. So when your x is q, your mx is 0. That means your mq is 0. And what is your mq? Anything just begins from this equation. Sub your x with the q because your x is now q. Don't forget the modulus. This is equals to 0. And now throw away your modulus. When your modulus you bring to that side become plus minus. Don't forget that. Plus minus 0. And remember, 0 is at the middle. It's not positive, it's not negative. It's in the middle, in between of positive and negative. So only for 0 is a special case. You just can ignore the plus minus. So you just need to put 0, 5q minus 4, and find your q, which is 4 over 5. Done. Is it easy? So your p is negative 3, q is 4 over 5. It's not too difficult, right? So here's negative 3, your p is negative 3. And now state the domain when the range is greater than 4. So I think it should be too straightforward. Range of domain, state the domain. Domain means your x, isn't it? So your x is this line. Alright, and they say when the range is greater than 4. So where is the 4? You have to find out that first. The 4 is actually the y-intercept, which is here. It's because I just can see from the equation the mx is 5x minus 4. This is a straight line equation, isn't it? Y equals to mx plus c. but then the c here is -4. But guys, don't forget you have a modulus. The modulus makes it positive, it brings up. That's the reason why it's here. You also can actually key in inside the equation to find out. You can do that also, but I just can generally see from the equation, from this y equals to mx plus c. But actually you also can just key inside the equation 5x minus 4 when it is greater than that. So you probably, when the modulus shift that side, become plus minus, right? Your y-intercept in this case is negative. So because of that, we only consider the negative. We don't take the positive side because your y-intercept generally it is negative. It's negative side. So your plus minus, we also take the negative one because nothing to do with the positive, since they already let you know the equation, the y-intercept clearly in the equation 5x minus 4. The minus 4 is negative side, so we only consider the negative. So when we do a equation negative 5x minus 4 which equals to 4, let's just say, so how you getting it? So 5x minus 4 equals to -4, and -4 plus 4 is 0. Your x is 0. Can you see? Your x went here, it is at 0 side. So that's your y-intercept. This is true working calculation, but you don't have to do calculation, just it's wasting the time. You actually can get it from the equation. You just need to reverse the sign, that's it. When you see an equation, they ask to find the range, look at the y-intercept, just reverse the sign. If let's just say here is +4, then it will be at the bottom here, -4. Just the sign is reversed, that's it. So they ask the range that is range for greater than 4, the domain. So domain is the x side, so when it is 4, it is 0. The domain is 0. So your domain must be in between of these two, right? -3 and 0, which is this part. It's in between of -3 and 0 because they say range of greater than 4. So it should be -3 to the 0. So the range of your x, you can put it from -3 to 0. That's the answer for B. But this thing actually does no working also. You just can find out your 4 here. That means your x you have to take the x value here to here. That's it. So let's focus on the next part, which is the next question, Malacca paper. They give us diagram here shows the graph function m plus 2x for the domain. So they give us the domain, the range of the domain, the x value, which is from 0 to 6, 0 until 6. Also got modulus. Find the value of m and n. Your n is here, so the coordinate should be n0. Your m is inside the equation, it's not in the graph. Inside the equation, this time inside the equation, not in the graph. So you have to solve the m first. Find out the m first, because If let's just say if you want to find out your n, this one first, it will be too complicated to move on, because inside the equation already got an unknown, which is the m that you don't know, and you add in another unknown, which is the n value, which is this one. So there's like two unknowns at the same equation. It's really difficult to solve. So you have to solve this one first, the m, then the n. So let's solve the m. So you need to find a perfect coordinate. They only give us 6, n and 4, so use that. This coordinate we do not know because we don't have this value. So you know your x is 6, but you don't know your fx. What is it? So ignore it. This one we shouldn't take now because you need to solve the m first. So look at the next coordinate. This one is 0, 4. So actually we can use this coordinate because we have the numbers, which is your x value and your fx. So you can use this to sub inside the equation, find out the m. So let's sub this thing first. So your fx is equals to 4 when your x is equals to 0. So let's sub this. So your m I don't know, but I know my x is 0. Don't forget the modulus. This is equals to my fx, which is 4. See, I just sub inside with replacing my x equals to 0 and my fx is equals to 4, which is this part. I didn't do anything, I just substitute the equation so far, and let's move on. So 2 times 0 is 0, and modulus m equals to 4. So your modulus you bring to the other side become plus minus. So your m can be 4 or negative 4. What is the answer? 4 and negative 4. It should be negative 4. It's the same thing that I told you just now. Fx equals to m plus 2x. If you write it in this way, it's actually y equals to mx plus c. That means your y-intercept is the m, and this is the y-intercept if with the modulus, but your equation generally don't have modulus. So if let's just say don't have modulus, your graph, instead of going to the 4, positive 4, it will actually go down like this. When it go down, it will actually intersect at here, which is on the negative side, negative 4. Because of the modulus, it actually go up to the positive side, or else it will be here. Let me draw dot dot. That's the reason your m is negative 4, because your y-intercept originally without the modulus it's on negative side. So your m is the y-intercept, which is at the negative side. Actually, you don't have to do all this working. If I see the graph also, I actually can tell already it's negative 4, because it is actually the y-intercept. This is the point that's touching the y-axis. So that should be my y-intercept, which is my c. So I know that is my m. Remember just now I told you, when you see that, just change the sign. If positive, put negative like this. If negative, put positive. So same thing. If you're 4, put negative or change the sign. That's how you do. It's straightforward. So this kind of question like a bonus. You just need to change the sign. Look at the y-intercept. Then you got it, change the sign. Terbalik. If plus, put minus. If minus, put plus. It's very fast. Don't have to do working, but I do show the working so that you don't get confused. So you cannot put 4 but it's negative 4 because you have to follow the original equation. Your equation is on negative side. You have to take that. So there you go. I find my m negative 4. And now let's find the n. So this is my new equation. So after I found out my m, this will be my equation, right? Fx equals to, my m is negative 4, so I put negative 4 plus 2x. Okay, so let's find out the n. So the coordinate of n is n 0. So my x is now my n, my fx is now 0. So sub, because this will follow the x and fx. So let's sub inside according to the equation. So my fx is 0, modulus negative 4, my x is now my n. So 0, you can actually ignore the modulus. It's neither positive nor negative, so ignore that. So I can say negative 4 2 plus 2n equals to 0, and my n is actually 2. Positive negative 4, bring the side 4, 4 divided by 2, it's 2. Done. Find the range of function. The range of function. Range of function means function is fx. So look at the graph, the fx graph, which is this. So the line that is touching the fx line, that is what you should focus. So it actually touching from 0 all the way to this maximum point, isn't it? That is the range. It's not more than that, it's not less than the 0. That's the range of the fx. So you need to find this value. Here you know it's 0, so you don't need to find that one, but you need to find this. So you need to find this fx. What is that value? You know your x is 6 ma, substitute lah, find that. So when your fx is 6, substitute modulus m negative 4 plus your x is 6. So you just need to key in inside the calculator. 2 times 6, 12. So negative 4 plus with 12, you get 8. Modulus 8 is just 8. That means this value here is 8. So that means here is 8. So the range of the fx is from 0 all the way to 8. So that's the range. Zero to 8. This thing just exactly follow the arrow, follow the this one usually question will give you, follow the domain one. If they put this way, and then you also put this way. If they put just arrow without the equal, then you also do the same thing, arrow without the equal, follow the question. That one fixed. Okay, that one just follow question. So the range is quite easy, that's why there's no working, it's just 1 mark. You need to look the maximum and the minimum, that's the range. It's like for fx, the range of function means what? Fx, right? So look at the fx line. So the minimum that the graph goes is to the 0. It won't go below than that because there's a modulus. So because of the modulus, you will only see the positive. You cannot have negative because all the way 0 and above is only positive. Below the 0, all negative. So the range of the function, the minimum one always should be a 0. The maximum one, look until the line, the maximum, the longest line goes until where, and then you find the fx. That's how you find the range. Sometimes the question says corresponding range. It's also the same thing, range of function or the corresponding range. It's the same thing. Okay, now find the values of x if the fx is more than 2. So now your fx is more than 2, more and equals to 2. What's your fx? There, this thing, modulus m plus 2x. But you know your m is -4, so replace with -4. This is equals to more and equals to 2. So now modulus, change that side, become plus minus. So when you have a plus minus, split 2 part. So positive one, the arrow follow, but the negative one, you have to change the arrow. It's the linear inequalities which you already learned, right, in your lower secondary. So -4 plus 2x, when it is a lower number, which is negative smaller number, the arrows change to this direction, to the opposite direction, and find the x value. So 2 -4 bring that side become +4, so 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 divided with 2 is 3. So x is more and equals to 3, and here -2 plus 4 is negative 2. It's just 2. 2 divided by 2, it's 1. So x is less and equals to 1. So this is the values of x. Done. For modulus, the same thing. You have to just change the, when the modulus shift this side, add plus minus. If there's a equal to 0 only, you have to ignore the modulus. You have to ignore the plus minus. If there's something equation with the modulus equals to 0, just ignore the plus minus. For 0 only special case, the rest all have to switch. And when there's a inequalities like more and equals to or less and equals to, the positive side is always more and the negative number is the opposite sign. Change the inequalities to the opposite for a negative or the lowest number. So we are done with this question. So I hope you're okay. Let's move on to the next one. This is Negeri 9 paper. Given fx is square root x plus 9 over 3 and x should be more than p. Find the value of p. This one is actually should be more or equals to p, so it's the range of p. So this thing need to highlight. So the p actually represents the x value. That means the p you substitute inside here. So what should be the p value? It can be any number. Actually, it can be any number, but you have to know. Can I know if there's a square root of 0, what will be the answer? If you press your calculator, square root 0, it will be 0. Square root 1, it will be 1. Square root -1, what will be the answer? Math error. So you see, when you put a neutral number which means not a positive, not a negative, you will get 0. When you put a positive number, maybe like square root 2, square root 1, square root 3, square root 4, you will still get the answer, okay? But when you put a negative number, maybe negative 2, negative 3, any negative number, you will get a math error. If you get a math error, how are you going to solve the function? Remember your function, I told you that you cannot have a math error. If you have a math error, then you cannot able to solve a function or equation. So one strict condition in function, anything that makes something a math error is like dilarang, cannot. So you need to find out that the P, make sure, cannot make it a math error. So what number can it be? It cannot be a negative number. It either should be a 0 or 1 or positive value. It either can give us the 0 or more than that. It cannot be negative value. So you should make it equals to 0. If let's just say you make it equals to 0, you will get your P equals to negative 9. And let's just say key inside negative 9 plus 9, you'll get a square root 0, isn't it? And square root 0 is still a 0. If more than that, it's okay, you still get a number, correct or not? For example, more than negative 9 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 9, you'll get square root 1. Then you see it's 1. It's a positive number. So the P should be equals to negative 9, because it either can be a 0, which is a neutral number, or more than that, to a positive number. It cannot bring a negative number. So the P must be equals to negative 9. Find the value of M if modulus, this time they give you a modulus one or two. So your M is actually at the X part. So your X is actually equals to M lah, basically. So what's your Fx? Is this? They gave us third X plus 9. Over how much? 3. Modulus 1 or 2. And don't forget, your X is no longer X, it's M. So replace it with M. And now shift your modulus lah. If modulus here, bring to that side, become plus minus. As long as it's not a 0, bring a plus minus there. So M plus 9 over 3 equals to plus minus 1 over 2. So what you do when you have a plus minus, split it into 2 parts. So one is third. Actually this one was, sometimes people call it third. Sometimes call it square root. You will learn third, all this in chapter 4. Okay? Indices, surds, logarithm, that chapter. Some people call it surd, some people call it square root. I prefer to call it surd. M plus 9 over 3, and your positive here and your negative here. Solve for your M. So find out your M lah. Bring one by one there and find your M. So the 3 you bring to this side, divide, bring that times. So 3 times 1 over 2 is 3 over 2. So and then square root, bring there, square. So I write it here. So and then your plus 9 bring to the other side become minus 9. So 3 over 2 square you get 9 over 4. 9 over 4 minus 9 is negative 27 over 4. And here same thing, 3 bring to the other side become negative 3 over 2. So negative 1 over 2 times with 3 is negative 3 over 2. The square bring there as a square root bring there square. And find the value of your m. So negative 3 over 2 square will also give you 9 over 4, and minus 9 is negative 27 over 4. So no matter it's plus or minus, give you the same answer. That means you can actually conclude it as same answer, negative 27 over 4. Done. This thing wait, maybe let me explain it again more better if I didn't explain it way more better just now. Okay, as you know, you cannot have a negative number inside the set, right? It either can be a 0 or minimum should be a 0, because 0 still gives you a 0, and 0 divided by 3 you get a 0. It's not a math error. As long as it didn't give you a math error, the function still able to be solved. So you cannot have a negative number, so you need to find out what causes this to be a negative number. The p cannot be a negative number, right? So what can make it negative? This p plus 9 square root, what can cause it to a negative? Maybe negative 1. What can it be? Negative 10. So when negative 10 you plus 9, you get negative 1. So negative 1 will give you a math error. Then your equation cannot be solved because they say it should be more than that. X should be equals or more than that. So that means the p cannot be a negative. So you should find the one that is cannot be the one that cannot bring you a negative. At the same time, it can be the minimum. Minimum means the 0 could be the minimum, because when you press in the calculator, negative 1 itself already give you a math error. So the minimum that it can go is 0. So you need to find out that the minimum first that brings it to 0. This set p plus 9, what can cause us to be set 0? That's the minimum. The set can cut, so plus 9 bring there, it's negative 9. So the negative 9 is the minimum value that brings it to 0. So 0 still can be calculated. It will give you a 0. As long as it's not a math error, you still the function able to be solved. Next, sketching the graph and state the corresponding range. Remember I told you just now, sometimes they say state the range of functions, something they call it corresponding range. It's the same. They give us the domain, the range of the domain. So to sketch the graph, I do told you that to sketch, what you have to do first step is draw a table. X, this one is fx, right? So do a table. One, two, three, 4. Things I draw it way too long. Negative 2 until 8. Your x, so negative 2 until 8. So what do you put at the middle? 0, 0. 1 above, 1 below. And down, find out, complete the table first. So if your x is negative 2 minus 3, you will get negative 5. So negative 2 minus 3, it's negative 5. Modulus negative 5, it will be 5. Don't forget this modulus. So when your x is 0, 0 minus 3, negative 3. Modulus negative 3, 3. When your fx is equals to 0, that means 0 equals to modulus x minus 3. So the modulus can be ignored. So x minus 3, your minus 3 bring here. X will be equals to 3. And when your x is equals to 8, 8 minus 3, what's your fx? Modulus 5 is 5. You don't have to show the substitution because it's just 3 marks. The mainly marks for the shape of the graph and the range and maybe your table. So now you already complete your table, right? So let's sketch the graph. So 0. The range of the domain is from negative 2 all the way to 8. And there is 3 somewhere here. And your fx is 3, 5. 3 and 5 maybe above. 0 is 0 lah. Okay. So now let's plot the graph. So negative 2 and 5 maybe here. Seems like not a perfect line, but agak-agak lah. 0, your x is 0, fx is 3, it's here. And then your x is 3, fx is 0, and x is 8, it's somewhere here. And then you have to connect these 3 lines. Oopsie, not straight. That means I should bring my 3 above. Let me adjust a bit, guys. I always hate sketching. This is the problem. Ooh, my bad. So you will see a V or a thick shape. So this is the graph. But it's not over. They asked to sketch and they asked to state corresponding range. So the corresponding range, which means the maximum point of the fx from the minimum. So your fx, follow this. If the arrow is this side, then you also do that side. So here, look at the fx. This is the fx line. So the minimum and the maximum. Minimum here, maximum here. So the minimum is at 0 and the maximum is at 5, right? So yeah, 0, 5, done. So you're done sketching the graph. Okay, for the next question. Find the value of x if f gx is equals to x and they also give you a gx. Oh, sounds like I don't have space. Looks like I don't have space here. I need to make it smaller. Okay, looks better. Now here b, we know fx. What was the fx? Modulus x minus 3. And we know what gx, 2x minus 6. Right? So what's our fgx? So how you find f, expand the gx bracket, and now substitute your gx, which is 2x minus 6. So put inside. So this is like your fx. So what's your fx? Modulus x minus 3. But what's your x now? 2x minus 6. So replace the x with 2x minus 6. So minus 6 minus 3 is minus 9. Done. This is your fgx, but this is not what the question wants. You need to find out the value of x. So as they say, your fgx is equals to x. So what's your fgx? As you find here is modulus 2x minus 9. So replace it here. And this is equals to your x. I just changed the way of I'm writing it, but I didn't change anything. The same thing. It's the same thing. Modulus, bring to the other side, become plus minus. So 2x minus 9 become plus minus x. So when you have a plus minus, it's better to split into two parts. So one here, 2x minus 9 equals to x. Another more, 2x minus 9 equals to negative x. So bring your x one side and your numbers one side. 2x minus x, your negative 9, bring there a positive 9. 2x, your negative x, bring here positive x. Negative 9, bring there a positive 9. So 2x minus x is x. So your x is equals to 9. And 3x is equals to 9. Here x is equals to 3. So your x is 3 or 9. Ta-da! Done. So hope you are clear. If I'm too fast, let me know. Now let's look at Pahang paper. Diagram 2 shows the function of m that maps set A to set B. So this is function m. So I can say this is x, go through a function m, reach mx. So I can say my mx is x plus 5. Whereas the function n, which represented by x squared minus 2. So they already give you the function n, which is the nx, represent by x squared minus 2. Map set B to set C. Given that P is an expression in terms of x, find the value of t if m inverse t plus 2 equals to m negative 2. Ooh, interesting. Alright. So here, if this question got two parts. Let's do I. They say m inverse t plus 2 equals to m negative 2. Actually, there are two parts here. One is this, one is this. You have to solve two parts also. One is inverse, one more is not the inverse, it's just the normal function. So let's solve the normal function. As you know, whatever inside the bracket, it actually represents the x, it indicates the x. So now your x is not x plus negative 2, right? So let's substitute at the x negative 2. So what's your m negative 2? Negative 2 plus 5. How much? Negative 2 plus 5 is 3 actually. You don't have to press calculator. So there you go. I solved this first part, which is the easiest part lah. Now look at the inverse part. M inverse t plus 2. So first thing, this is the inverse. So if you want to solve the inverse, you need to find the inverse function. And how you find the inverse function? Remember I told you, you have to let y. If you want to find the inverse function, let y to the normal function. If you want to inverse the fx, let y to fx. If you want to inverse the mx, inverse the mx. Let y equals to mx. So let y equals to mx here. And what's your mx? X plus 5. And I do teach you a slogan that start with single y and with single x. You start with your y, so finish with your x. So find out your x. So bring your y to that side, become y minus 5. There you go. I start with my x, I end with my I start with my y, I end with my x. So I have already inversed it. Then I can actually put my m inverse x. Just replace the y into the x. X minus 5, done. And you can see that if inverse means terbalik mah, so plus 5 and I inverse make it minus 5. Terbalik, so it's minus lah. If go there times, inverse should be divide. If go there plus, the normal one plus, the inverse should be minus. Terbalik means the sign also must be terbalik. So I find my inverse x, and now let's solve it. Remember I told you whatever inside the bracket actually represents the x. So now your x is not x anymore, it's t plus 2. So replace your m inverse t plus 2 here. Replace the x here also with t plus 2. And don't forget to minus 5. So 2 minus 5. You will get minus 3. Done. So my m inverse t plus 2 is actually equals to t minus 3. So let's just write it here. And now find the t. So minus 3, bring there, plus 3 equals to 6. Have done finding my t. That's all. It's not too difficult, right? You do one by one, you see what they want, solve it slowly, nicely. You actually can get the way already. Number 2, state the expression of p. They say expression of p actually in terms of x. That means the p there represent in the x. The p that you find must be equals to something got x. Must have the x. Got other thing? Salah. So how are you going to find? You have your mx. You have your nx. That means you can do a composite function, right? That link the x straight away to p. Because they say p, the expression of p in terms of x. So your x is here. That one links from x all the way to p is through the composite function. And how do you what we call the thing? Yeah, I forgot the name. What do you call the composite function? Yeah, composite function. So the function is nmx. nmx. Always go from this one to this. Don't say mnx. I know it's cross the M and then N, but when you name, you will go terbalik, NMX. So NMX, how you do this? This is actually its P. NMX is actually representing the P, because you cross the N, you cross the M, and then you reach what? The P, right? So you need to find that. So expand the NMX. Sorry, I ready to balik. And now you got the MX, which is here, x plus 5. And you can substitute here. And x also you have, and whatever inside the bracket is just your x. Here's nx, x squared minus 2. And what's your x now? X plus 5. X plus 5 square minus 2. You want to stop here or you want to expand? It's good if you expand. If you didn't expand also, I don't think so, it's a problem. But it's good if you expand. So let's expand. So your P in terms of x is actually a quadratic. Done. Straightforward, right? Let's look at next question. Given a kx, and they say x is, it cannot be equals to 2, because yes, if 2, then we minus 2, it will be p equals to 0, p over 0. And if that happened, it will be a math error. And I told you that math error in function, that it cannot happen. It's the dilarang, a big restriction already, because memang tak boleh, then you cannot solve the function. So they give us a kx and say p is a constant, and they say find gx in terms of p given that gkx. Let's do. They give us what? Kx, p over x minus 2, and they say they also give us gkx. X minus 8x minus 2. And I do also make a video for this type of questions, so if you're still not good at this, go and watch that one. They asked us to find the gx, and I told you for this type of question you have to use phase form. Function, maybe I write here, inside substitute. I here means inside, S means substitute. This one function, the F, outside the O, and here L is let Y. So inside means, if let's just say gkx, the gx is what you want to find, right? So the g is actually outside. So outside means you have to let y. You have to use this for. You have to let y. But if let's just say you want to find a kx, which is the inside, you have to substitute function inside, substitute. So this time is g, which is the outside you want to find, so you should let y. So what's gkx by the way? 5x minus 8 over x minus 2. First thing, you expand like a normal thing, and the other side copy back. I didn't do anything. And now kx. So what is your kx? This p over x minus 2. And this one, don't do anything, just maintain so far. And now it's a bit difficult already, because it's not too difficult. Here you have to let y. So let y to who? To the bracket. Always let y inside the bracket. Always. Bracket one's too special. So what's inside the bracket? P over x minus 2, right? And always remember the slogan, start with single y and with single x. So x minus 2 over p over y. I bring the x minus 2 up, the y down. Okay, and now I just need to find my x. So p over y minus 2, bring here plus 2. You want to make it into a single fraction, so times with y times with y. So you can actually put p plus 2y over y. Also can. So you have already started with single y and with single x. And now replace all your x, since you know the x is all p plus 2y over y, so replace all this to p plus 2y over y. So replace now, because your x, you know that is equals to that. So replace p plus 2y over y minus 8 over p plus 2y over y minus 2. And here the px minus 2 is actually you already let equals to y. So you, instead of writing the long thing, you just need to write y. And now you actually need to simplify, do your normal mathematics. Simplify, simplify, simplify. So I continue here. So first thing, the 5 here you expand times 5 times p, 5p. 5 times 2, 10y over y, and you minus the 8. So 8 here is over 1. Remember, whatever is just over 1. So in order to make it into a single fraction, you times y. So you will actually, I write it one shot, minus 8y over the y. So over the big line, and same thing, this one also over 1. So you times y, so you can combine the fraction together. So p plus 2y minus y, minus 2y, sorry. I put a bracket here so it's easy to see. So 5p, 10y minus 8y is how many y? 2y over y over 2y minus 2y, you can cut, left with p over the y. The remaining I copy. And now how do you solve this? Fraction divide another fraction. So let's just say I give you an example. 5 over 2 divided with 3 over 4. How do you solve this? 5 over 2 divided with 3 over 4. Five you times with 4, how much? 20. 2 times with 3, 6. 20 over 6, if you simplify, 10 over 3, isn't it? The same concept, this thing times this thing, this times this. So 5p you times y, looks like I don't have space also. 5py, 2y times y, I get 2y square. Py times just py, and tada, is the simplest form. Actually not the simplest form, you still can cut away the y. I need more space. Looks like don't have space to continue. Okay, wait, I make it smaller. So now you can actually cut the y. So here got y, here got y. So actually you can cut the y. So if you pull out the y from everything, it will be like, you take out the y, so remaining is just 5p. The y you pull out, put it outside there, and here got 2y squared, that means there's 2y. I just take 1y, so remaining is 1y over the y. I put it here over p, and I cut y divided by y, nothing, just cut. You simplify already, and here you go. My simplest answer is 5p plus 2y over p, and this is my gy, and then you can change to gx. 5p plus 2x over p. And by the way, I just want to erase this thing. Done. So this is the first question, but I know it's quite long. The long one is just to simplify. Now find the value of gp. Okay, you know your gx is what? As you find 5p plus 2x over p, and now they say find gp, so your x is now p, so replace it with p. gp 5p plus your x is now p over p, so how much? 5p plus 2p, 7p. 7p over p, pp cut, get 7. So there you go, my gp is equals to 7. Done. So I give you some time to digest this thing, and also let me know if I'm too fast. I scared I'm too fast. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Let's go to police. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Diagram 1 shows the function f which okay, wait, before I continue, I just want you to digest this question first. Go through first. Why do I need to drink some water? Okay, diagram 1 shows a function f which maps set k to the set m. So the function f maps set k to set m, which is the fx lah. So my fx become x minus 5. Sorry, 8x minus 5. Find the function which map set m to k. M here go to k. Isn't it terbalik? So terbalik means inverse. So they're asking you to find the inverse function. And how you find? You let y, right? So let y to what? Fx, the original function. So y plus 5 dy by 8, this is equals to x. Then write it this way. And then you just need to write the inverse. F inverse x done. And you can check. Inverse means terbalik. Minus 5, here will be plus 5. Times 8, here is dy 8. So that's how you check. It's the fastest way to check whether the answer is correct or wrong. And done. You already done your A. Find the gx. Okay. You know your fx, which is 8x minus 5. And also one more thing. It's a composite function. And the composite function they don't tell you, but you need to know. So what's it? Gfx. So your gfx is 24x plus 15. Gx we don't know, and that's what you have to find, isn't it? So let's find. They gave us two information, and let's find. B. So your G is outside phase form, so you have to let Y. (24x plus 15). So you let Y, but not now, later. Now you substitute your fx. So your fx is actually 8x minus 5. So substitute 8x minus 5. Then only you let y to 8x minus 5. So here let y to 8x minus 5. Start with single y and with single x. So y plus 5 divided by 8. This will be equals to x. And this thing, substitute here, because you know already your x in terms of y. So substitute lah. So 24, my x is no longer x, is y plus 5 over 8 plus with 15. This will be equals to my g y, not x, because you already let this entire thing to y. So you put g y. This thing can cut. So 25 if you do by 8, you should get 3. So 3 times y, 3y. 3 times 5, 15. And you plus 15 is 30. So 3y plus 30. And just lastly change to gx. Your y changed to x. That's it. You're done. So actually we are done this question too. Let's move on to the next one. Sabah paper. I feel I'm going very fast. Okay, I'll make myself slower. State the type of relation. I told you already there are 4 types of relation. This was my first video I did. So there are 4. Just a quick recap. There are 1 to 1, many to 1, one to many, many to many. These are the 4 types of relation that we have. And this is a function, they say, because this is a function. They already clearly say function only 1 to 1 or many to 1. It cannot be 1 to many, many to many. Either 1 to 1 or many to 1. So this side all represents the x. After the 2, after this 2 representing the fx, the image part, fx, gx, hx, kx, mx. That's it. So you realize your x here this is all your x, and this is all your fx. For this type of case, I prefer to draw arrow diagram. It's easy to see. They give us a coordinate, right? Use the coordinate. I draw an arrow diagram and you're able to see that. So you know here is x, here is fx. So your x, by the way, this coordinate is 0 and 3. So here x is 0. Here your x is 1, 2, 3. And by the way, this side is all your fx. 3, 2, 3, 6. So I follow the order 2, 3, again 3, and then 6. And now let's do the mapping. So 0 map with 3, 0 map with 3, this. And then the 1 map with 2, 1 map with 2. And the 2 map with 3 also. And 3 map with 6. So now you can actually clearly see it's from many going to 1. Many to 1. So this is a many to 1 relation. That's the reason I draw arrow diagram. Easier to see. State the domain and the range. So the domain, I think in the arrow diagram, is quite clear to see is from 0 to 3. So the domain is from 0 to 3. And the range of the function is a corresponding function, which is the fx part. It starts from the minimum. This time it didn't start from 0. It starts from the 2. Can you see? From this 2. And all the way to the 6. The maximum. The highest point. So the range is actually 2 to 6. The minimum and the maximum. The smallest and the biggest. Okay, as you see, it's actually from the 2. And the highest one is the 6. The lowest one is 2. That's the range. So done. Sabah papers. I think this one paper 1. Next one, Selangor papers. Diagram 1 shows the graph So this one is inverse. Inverse means terbalik. So find the coordinate of b prime if the corresponding coordinate lies on the graph y equals to gx. So b prime is this. So b is this. So what's the b prime? It's the inverse line. It's the inverse function. So inverse function, I do told you, everything terbalik, isn't it? It's everything terbalik. Your x will become your fx. Your fx will become your x. It's terbalik for inverse. Which means your object will be like an image. Your image will be like an object. It's terbalik. So they ask the coordinate, right? The coordinate also have to be terbalik lah, because everything terbalik, inverse. That means your coordinate also terbalik. If here is 3 1, then here should be 1 3. If here is 2.50, here should be 0 2.5. Here is 4 3, here is 3 4. Everything terbalik. It's just because inverse. This is gx and this is the inverse, the terbalik, the songsang of it. So everything should be songsang, the coordinate, everything. So your b prime is 1 3. Now find the gx. What is gx in terms of x? Guys, this is a graph. Y equals to x. This is a gx line. Sorry, it's not straight enough. Gx line. It's a straight line, isn't it? A straight, and they also tell you a linear function, a straight line. That means you apply a basic principle mathematical equation, which is y equals to mx plus c. Y equals to mx plus c means representing an equation of a straight line, which you learn in a lower secondaries. So you apply that because this is a straight line graph so you can apply y equals to mx plus c. Just one difference, your y is not y, is gx. The rest same. Find your gradient. They give you coordinate a b c. Use any of the two coordinate, find the gradient. So maybe 4 3 and 3 1. So y2 minus y1 or x2 minus x1. So use that. So 3 minus 1, 4 minus 3. So 3 minus 1 is 2, right? 4 minus 3 is 1. So gradient is 2. Now find the y-intercept, the c. So the c, use any of the coordinate that you know. So maybe y, your gradient is 2, my x plus c. So yx, use any of the coordinate. Maybe b, use 3 1. Use this coordinate, sub inside here. 1, my x is 3, I plus c. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 I minus 6 is negative 5. Done. I find my c and my gradient. So my equation of a straight line looks like this. My gradient is 2, my c is negative 5. You see, my gradient is 2, my c is negative 5. This is the equation that they want. But just change one thing. Don't forget your y change to gx. So the equation of straight line will be gx equals to 2x minus 5. Done. Ta-da! It's so easy, guys. So we're done with Selangor paper. This next question, I think this one also Selangor. Yeah. Arif menawarkan. Arif offers parcel packaging service. Okay. And the cost price per package, so the cost for one package is 4 ringgit 50 cent. And the selling price is 5 ringgit 30 cent. So what do you think the profit that he gained in just one package? You minus lah, correct or not? So 530 you minus the 450. Should be getting how much 5 minus 4, 30 minus 50. Shit, my math is so weak. 80 cent. So 0 ringgit 80 cent is the profit that you will see for one package. Profit for one package, because they say cost, price and the selling price per package. So the profit, because it's like this, the cost that you to prepare a product, the cost that you take is 10 ringgit. Let's just say I give you example, and you sell to the customer 20 ringgit. So what's the profit that you earn? 10 ringgit lah, correct or not? Because the cost is 10 ringgit, you sell 20 ringgit, so 20 you minus 10, you get 10 ringgit. Same thing for this also lah. The cost that you take to prepare a package is 4 ringgit 50 cent, and you sell to the customer 5 ringgit 30 cent. So the profit that you earn is 80 cent. So that's for one package. So on average he spent 120 ringgit on the postage charge. So for n parcel he charged this also. So actually it's like spending more money for the postage also, so it's like a rugi for him. For n parcel so this one is for one parcel, 0 ringgit 80 cent it's for one parcel, but they say it's for n parcel. That means times n because let's just say untung for one package is 10 ringgit, 20 package 200 ringgit, correct not? You 20 you times 10, right? Same thing so one parcel 80 cent, n parcel n times 80 cent. So 0 ringgit 80 cent you times n. And don't forget, this is the profit that you get, right? And after that he take out the money, so the untung, the profit that he gained also become lesser. So you minus off the 120 ringgit. If F represents the profit of parcel packaging service in terms of n, done. This is your Fn. This is the profit. So the clean profit the profit that you take to prepare, the cost you minus the selling price, and also you minus the other expenses like spending on the postage. So you minus the expenses, you get a clean profit. That is what they're asking. So that's the thing, it's like a simple basic mathematics, right? But just adding an unknown. Find the value of n to get a return capital. So you want to get a return capital. That means if you're an accounting student, it's easy for you, but you will not learn in the first few chapters. It's a bit lambat sikit. A return capital means like the money that you invest, you get back. For example you invest about 20 ringgit, you get back the 20 ringgit. You put inside the company 20 ringgit, you invest 20 ringgit. The profit that you get back after you invest, you get a profit the profit that you get also 20 ringgit. The investment is the modal, the money that you labor is the capital that you put inside the company. You put 20 ringgit, you get back the 20 ringgit. Do you have any profit? The answer is no. You put 20 ringgit, you get back 20 ringgit. What's the profit I earn? We want more. If I put 20 ringgit, I expected like 30 ringgit or 40 ringgit. But then, I get back what I put. That's the thing they say, mendapatkan pulangan modal. Getting back the return. So, that means I didn't get any profit. It's just a return back to me that I put what inside the company. Like I said, I put 20, I get back 20. I didn't get any profit. That means the profit I earn is nothing. So I can say Fn is equals to 0. I didn't earn any profit, so it's 0. Now, what's your Fn? 0 ringgit 80. Sorry, my 8 so ugly. 80 cent with n minus 120 is equals to 0. So what is my n? 120 divided by 0 ringgit 80 cent. So you press your calculator. It's 150. Done. This is B. This is A. So get it? It's like getting back what you put inside. So no, tiada untung, tiada rugi. In accounts, they call it as TPM, titik pulang modal. I used to take accounts, so I know. They call this as titik pulang modal, which means tiada untung and no rugi also. This is what they call return capital. Capital is the money that you invest and you get back the same thing. No untung, no rugi. You put 20 ringgit, you get back the 20. So no profit lah, 0. So yeah, we're done with this. Let's move on to the next question. Selangor, this is different set 2. So diagram 15 shows a function that maps x to y. So this is fx lah. But when your x is equals to a, you map using the function fx, you get -2. Okay, and the function g that you map from y to z. So the g that you use a -2, from -2 you map using a function g, you get z, which is the b. Sorry. Express in terms of f and g of the function that maps x to z. X to z means what's the function? G f x, right? That is the function in terms of f and g. So gfx, from x you get your c. Done. State the value of g inverse g -2. Okay, let me draw this thing here. Let's just say this is a function g, and I put a b here. G inverse g -2. So how you do this? Same thing lah, you expand, isn't it? So first you solve the g -2. So okay, I use -2 here. Oh. So now my x is -2. I cross the function g, then I will get the answer for this, isn't it? Which is something I don't know, so I put maybe question mark. I don't know, I put question mark. And then I have to do my inverse function. So inverse means terbalik, isn't it? The g terbalik. So isn't it I go back to here? So and then the question mark, from where I stop, which I stop at the question mark here, and then I go back using the g inverse function bridge. So what I get back? -2, right? So the answer is -2. It's like a loop, a cycle. Remember this thing, f inverse x or f inverse fx, both you will get back the same. If here is z, you get z, a you get a, b you get b. It's the same thing, because you cross the first bridge and then inverse back, so it's the same thing you will get. So the answer is -2. So here 1 mark, here 1 mark, or 2 mark. But anyhow, if you want to solve one by one also can, using this. If you solve using the one that they give us, can also, no problem. So let's just say g2. So this is function g and -2. So you will get b, isn't it? So what is g inverse b? So inverse means songsang, isn't it? It's go reverse. So g inverse b. So b, and I use this bridge, the inverse function bridge. I get back -2. This thing. So no matter what, you still get the same thing. Now b. They say given f inverse is 2x plus 3 over x minus 2, and g of x is 3x minus 6. Find the value of a. Where is the a? Here, which is at the x part, and they gave us the inverse function, which is this. So I can say my f inverse -2, I will get what? A. So put inside this equation. Now your x terbalik, not terbalik, your x is now -2. So put every x there -2. So -2 plus 3 over -2 minus 2. This will be equals to my a. So just press your calculator. 2 times -2 is -4. -4 I plus 3 is -1. And -2 minus 2 is -4. So it's -1 over -4 is 1 over 4. There you go. I got my a, 1 over 4. Find the value of gx. So I do b here. I got my gfx, 3x minus 6. So gfx made up of gx and fx. But do I have my fx? The answer is no. But I have my inverse x. Can I find my fx from the inverse x? The answer is yes. How? You just let y lah. Same thing like you want to find the inverse x, you let y to fx, isn't it? Same thing if you want to find the fx, you let y to inverse x. The method is the same. So let y to inverse fx. So y f inverse x, what is the equation now? 2x plus 3 over x minus 2. 2x plus 3 over x minus 2. So the slogan, remember, start with single y, end with single x. So first thing, bring your x up, x minus 2, y put there, 2x plus 3, expand, xy minus 2y equals to 2x plus 3. I just times this here, and now bring your x one side and y another side. So xy, the 2x here I put here, so positive 2x here, and the negative 2y bring there, become positive 2y plus 3. And here you see one common thing. When you put x together, you will see that there is a common unknown there. So what you can do is factorize. You pull out the x. So when you pull out the x, from the xy you pull out the x, you left with y. The minus 2x, you pull out the x, you left with minus 2 over 2y plus 3. And now it's a times relation. Bring here, bring to the other side, become dy. So 2y plus 3 over y minus 2. Done. You see, you start with single y and with single x. And you already find your fx. This is your fx. 2x plus 3 over x minus 2. And your x cannot be equals to 2. You got your gfx, you got your fx. Now you can find your gx. So let's go. This thing I will put here because I need a lot of space. So as you know, your gfx is 3x minus 6. And how you do, you expand this, right? And your gx is outside. So outside means let y. So let's let y. So what's your fx? 2x plus 3 over x minus 2. And this is equals to 3x minus 6. You let y to who? 2x plus 3x minus 2. And when you let y, you will get back the same thing. So you don't need just put y, and your x will be equals to this sub here, because you let y also will get the same thing. You no need to let y like a lot of time, wasting the time actually. So instead you just let y one time, enough lah. And here's over 1. So to make it a single denominator fraction, you times y minus 2. 6y plus 9 minus 6 times y minus 6y minus 6 times negative 2 positive 12 over y minus 2. So 6y cut 9, you plus with 12, 21. So 21 over y minus 2. This is your gy. And then find your gx. Change to gx. 21 over x minus 2. And don't forget to do this thing. This thing very important. If you didn't write that thing, you won't get the final mark, which is the N1. Very important. Don't forget that. Must write. This thing actually you have to let y, isn't it? But you see 2x plus 3 over x minus 2, you already let y here, so you don't need to let y again and you know you let y, you get this thing. That's why I substitute the rows. You don't have to do so many times. So done. This question was finished already. There are 2 more questions. Let's go. Given fx is px plus q and f cube x is 8x plus 14, find the value of p and q. Alright. They give us a very nice f cube x. So, and they give us fx px plus q. That's us to find the p and q. And actually there's a way. I told you in my previous video is using compare method. Compare, you have to compare. So the what that they give us is very nice one. So let's create on our own f cube x and we see. So this one is the what the question give us, f cube x. Let's create our own f cube x. So how? Let's do here. F cube x is actually f x, which means f bracket f bracket another fx. Okay, so let's do one by one. F and now you substitute your first fx. This is what the question gave us. Px plus q. Finish substituting. Now this is like another fx. You substitute inside another fx. So big F. So don't forget to substitute. What's your fx? P x plus q. And what is your x now? Px plus q, right? So substitute with px plus q. It's like substituting 3 times inside the same equation to the x value. So if you want to simplify this, also can. So p times p square x plus pq plus q f, and substitute again because it's like another x. Remember I told you whatever a bracket assume like a x. So fx, what's your fx again? Px plus q. Px plus q. So what's your x? This entire thing lah. Don't forget the square also. P square x plus pq. It's like very long. Plus q. Now expand again. So p square times p cube x plus p square q plus pq plus q. This is your f cube x. P cube x plus p square q plus pq plus q is what you find out. And what the question give us is this: f cube x 8x plus 14. I told you that compare. This is the time that you have to compare. So when you compare, you get already. Compare apple to apple, yeah. So if here is f cube x, here is f cube x, here is x, here is x. That means whatever in front the x should be the same. So this is all in front your x. So p cube is equals to your 8. And whatever this thing is at the after the plus sign, so this thing should be equals to the 14. this thing equals to 8. So I can say p cube equals to 8. So cube root is 2. There you go. And my p square q plus pq plus q is 14. The entire thing equals to 14. And my p should be equals to 2, as you already find. So sub all your p's. 2 so 2 square is 4. 4q plus 2q, 6q plus q, 7q. So 7q is 14. That means q is 2 also. So there you go. P2, q also 2. Done. This is worth 3 marks. Next, find the f inverse. So you know your p and q already, which is fx is 2x plus 2 lah, because p and q is also 2. So replace your p2, q also 2. So you can find your f inverse already. So find your f inverse. Let y to fx. So 2x plus 2. So y minus 2 over 2 equals to your x. That means this is your f inverse x. And you already find your f inverse function, but that's not what the question wants. The question wants f inverse of negative 6. So whatever inside the bracket is the x. So substitute your x with negative 6 here. So you substitute. What do you get? Negative 6 minus 2 is negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. Done. C. Express f to the power of 4. Just now we have f power of 3. How much? 8x plus 14, isn't it? We also have our fx. What was the fx? 2x plus 2. And actually we can find our f for x. How our f for x? F to the power of 4, which means it's f times f times f times f, 4f, right? That's 4f. So another way of writing the 4f, how we can write? F square times with f square. Also can write. Another way, f cube times with f. Also can write. Or f times with f cube. Either way, but I will prefer these two. Why? We have our f cube and our f. We don't have f square, so don't waste your time. So we either choose f cube f or f cube. Both also can, so I choose f cube f. So we find using this. So first thing, you expand them. So what is our fx? This thing, right? Substitute. And what's our f cube? This is our x, f cube x. So our x is no longer x, but it's 2x plus 2, and don't forget the plus 14. So now 8 times 2 is 16, 16x, 8 times 2 again 16, and plus 14. 16 plus 14 is 20. Yeah. 16x plus 20. So here you go. I have my fx, which is 2x plus 2. I have my f cube x, which is 8x plus 14. I have my f to the power 4x, which is 16x to the power of 20. And if you see, this actually brings a pattern. You have to see very carefully. But one thing is missing is f square, right? So let's find our f square x also lah. then it looks better to see the pattern clearly. So let's find out f square x also. Easy. So f square x means fx. What is fx to x plus 2? Again sub inside 2x plus 2 and I plus 2. So it's like 4x, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6. So my s square is 4x plus 6. You can see a pattern from this. When your x is power 1, you have a 2 power 1. When your x is power 2, it's actually, I can write 2 power 2, this thing. When your x is power 3, 2 power 3. When your f that is power 4, this thing I also can write as 2 power 4. And this is 2 power 1, the f. And 2, 6, 14, 20 also might bring a pattern. So this pattern is quite clear, we can see that, which is, I can say that is 2, which is the common, and the numbers that is changing is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this also follows the same number, right? So that is why we put n equal, follow the power. If 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and here is x, and here plus. This one is quite complicated because the pattern is not very clear, so you need to try a lot of ways. Here you get 2, so 2 sorry, my bad, I just now only realized my 16 plus 14 is not 20, it's 30. Okay, anyway, the first part is not affected. So here, this second part you have to generate, because they say generate a formula that you have to generate by your own self. So this part is quite clear, that you can see it's from the power of 2, 2, 4, 8, 16, correct or not? So that part is quite clear. This part is a bit confusing because you need to think from all the parts, all the sides. 2, how you can get the 2? Two to the power of 1 can also be 2 to the power of square minus 2, 4 minus 2. Because all this got in multiple of 2, so you need to think from the terms of 2, in terms of this better. This one 6, I would say that 2 to the power of 3 minus 2, isn't it? 8 minus 2, 6. And this one 8, 2 to the power of 4 is 16. So this one is 2 to the power of 4 minus 2. This one 2 to the power of 5, 32 minus 2, 30. We can see a pattern for this 2, 6, 14, 13. We can bring a pattern ready, but this number is not the same. Here is 1, here is 2, here is 2, 3, here is 3, 4, 4, 5, not the same number. But one thing for sure, you actually realize this 2 going to 3, it's plusing 1. 3 going to the 4, it's plusing 1. 4 going to the 5, it's plusing 1. You can see the pattern, right? That means I know here is 2, and you also realize that it's going to here is also plusing 1. You can see that, right? Plus 1, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 1, 5. That means I can split the number into something I plus 1. Maybe I can write in this way. This one I plus 1. Maybe it's too hard to see. This 3 I take the 2 I plus 1. This 4 I take the 3 I plus 1. We can see the pattern here, right? This 1 plus 1 is this. And for this 5, this 4 I plus 1. We get a pattern here. Now you see a clear pattern already. The number 1, 2, 3, 4 is now same as this 1, 2, 3, 4. So same, you put the n. And you also see a same number after that. Plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, which is the common number. Plus 1. And after that you also have a common number here, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2. Minus the 2. Done. And don't forget, you have to say where n is equals to what? The numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Where n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Remember, this type of question is quite famous. They like to ask express, and then they ask us to generate a formula. You have to see a pattern, generate the formula from the pattern. You need to find the pattern. It's like the polar and the integer. That's the thing. It's almost the same like in the lower secondary that you learn the polar, the integers. Exactly the same thing. You just need to find out the pattern. But it's quite complicated to see the pattern. So this is the next question, and I think this is the last question also. Diagram 1 shows the mapping of two functions. Okay, here. Of two functions. One is function f to the x. So I can say my f(x) is actually px. Here x, it cross the function f, it get px. And not only that, they also don't tell you, but you need to know. Sometimes the question is so nice they tell you, sometimes they don't tell you. So this is g(f(x), which is 2x plus 3. You take the x, you cross this bridge, g(f(x) bridge, you get 2x plus 3. And they also tell you g inverse. Find the value of p. Alright. If they give us g inverse, which is going to this way, are you able to find this way? The answer is yes, of course you can. Right? You let y. So when you let y, so you get y equals plus 3 equals to x. Then you get your gx. So your gx is x plus 3. So you got two information. One is your gx, x plus 3, and you got your gfx, 2x plus 3. You got your fx, but in terms of unknowns that you don't know what is that. So you need to find that fx. Find the value of p. You're finding the value of p. The p is actually inside the fx. So you need to find the fx first, then you find the p. So let's find the fx. You have two information, gfx and gx. From there, can you find your fx, right? Of course you can find. So let's find. How? Use the method phase 4. Your f is inside, so you have to function inside substitute. You have to use this one. You have to substitute, don't have to let y. So gfx, sorry, no need to do here, but you have to do at the bottom. So gfx is 2x plus 3, and here also 2x plus 3 lah, nothing to do here. And your fx is, I don't know, but I know my gx, which is x plus 3. And I told you, substitute for fx, substitute means treat whatever inside the bracket like a x. It's like your gx, gx. So what's your gx? X plus 3. But now your x, it's not x anymore, it's actually fx. So replace your x with fx, and this is equals to 2x plus 3. And now just do your normal calculation. Your 3 bring there, so your fx equals to 2x plus 3. The positive 3 bring here, minus 3, cut, you get 2x. So this is what you get, fx is equals to x. And what you see from here is fx is equals to px. What do you do now? Compare. When you compare, you can actually see already the number. Here x, x, fx, fx. That means here p must be equals to 2. Then you find the value of p. Easy, right? Not so hard, right? So you got your fx, which is 2x. B, find the f square x. F square x means fx. So you got your first fx, which is 2x, and then substitute again inside the x, because treat whatever inside the bracket like a x. So fx means 2x, so again your x is now x. So 2 times 2 is 4x. So as you can see the pattern, because they also ask function fnx, which means something similar like this one, generating a formula. So you list down first, easy to see. Your fx is 2x, f square x is 4x. That means I actually can say from here already my fnx, something like how it should looks like. It's like to the square, right? If here's 2 to the power of 1, it's like square 1. 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2. You can see the pattern, right? It's so clear. This one is not like too difficult like just now. So this one should be like 2 to the power of nx. And then don't forget this thing, it's very important, where n is 1, 2, 3. If you want to write 3 also can, and so on. Put dot. This one is very straightforward one. Because you can see the pattern already. You can even double check using f cube x. You check f cube x. F cube x is made up of f square x, right? So what's your f square is 4x. What is fx? Is 2 bracket 4x, so 8x. So wait, let me add a bit. You can see way more better. F to the power 4x pula, let's do f cube fx, right? What's your fx? 2x. What's your f cube? Which is 8x. So I'm getting 16x here, 8 times 2. So here you can see the pattern very nice. If I add more numbers, you see 8x, f to the power of 4, x is 16x. That means the pattern is very clear. Here is 2 to the power of 3, here is 2 to the power of 4. That means the 2 is the common, and the one that's changing is 1, 2, 3, 4. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is n. Done. This one is not way too difficult like just now, right? It's like a lot, but this one is quite easy. I think this one is Terengganu. Yeah, Terengganu paper. And yeah, I've done with the trial papers also for function. So my next video I'll be posting more on chapter 2 quadratic. And I think I'm like a bit fast today. Am I too fast? It's something I'm worrying from just now. Anyway, let me know in the comment if I'm too fast. I will try to control my speed. And I think that's all for today. See you on my next video. And if you like my way of teaching, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.